Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Tuesday, May the 13th, and we're definitely in a time of great uncertainty. I would say it's a pretty scary time to be in the stock market as a longer term investor. If you have been in it for the long term, you've probably seen the overall value in your portfolio go down between 10 and 15% since February 19th. And if you didn't sell, which hopefully you didn't, um, you may have seen a recovery to where you were, or you're probably still underwater 3 to 5%, depending on whether you were in ETFs or indexes versus individual stocks that may have been affected more than others or less than others from the tariffs. But the tariff situation is still a baffling one, why it even started, really. But nevertheless, it has. And that confusion has clouded a great deal of decisions and judgments from businesses because they just don't know how it's going to impact their organizations, their bottom line, their employees, where they manufacture products, where they bring products in from, how much those products will cost. It's just a great deal of uncertainty. And we're seeing that roll out in the consumer sentiment, which is lower. We're going to get some numbers this morning on CPI from the last month at 8:30, which is in 7 minutes. So we'll see what that comes in at. But the hard data has been fairly positive, but it's been backward looking, and it's only now going to start being affected by the tariffs that have been implemented and then paused. A number of economists are saying that these tariffs, even though most of them are paused now, but the base rate of 10% is still there across the board, is still going to affect the average American to the tune of about $2,300 annually. So that's going to be a big hit to most consumers in the US because $2,300 is a material amount of money to a majority of Americans. So if we take a look at the markets, you can see yesterday we had uh, a huge rocket ship upwards, and today it's only the NASDAQ that has turned green recently. The other two indices, the S&P 500 and Dow Jones, are both in the red. The S&P 500 only slightly, so we might end up getting into the green in both of those today. But if we take a look at the Yahoo Finance app, it's still bewildering, some of these stocks. In particular, the one that really is bewildering to me, and I believe is eventually has to turn downwards, is Tesla. And this is a stock that rocketed up yesterday. It's been on a rocket ship trajectory. It's gone up over $100 in the last month, down at 223 in mid-April, now up to 318. And this is a company whose sales are on the decline, whose brand has been probably significantly impacted for the foreseeable future due to the founders' alliance with the new president and administration and Doge cuts. And we still see this stock just continuing to rise, even though its market share is declining. It's losing market share in China, and it is really not growing nearly enough to justify the price earnings ratio. So this is one that I think inevitably has to come down and would be an interesting put option purchase for maybe the next 1 to 3 months, maybe staggered puts over the next 1 to 3 months. We are hearing a lot out of the administration these days in regards to semiconductor sales in other countries. President Trump is over in Saudi Arabia today talking about expanding Saudi Arabia's ability to buy more, primarily NVIDIA, but high-end AI chips, and become one of the countries that supports that. Another big winner yesterday was Meta. Looks like it's again up today, so it's on a bit of a run, and it's one of the companies that seems to have fairly good pricing control, the ability to increase its prices, and that obviously increasing its revenue and profitability at the same time. The other oddity yesterday was Netflix. I mean, this is a company that has had extremely strong results and has been climbing from the mid 900 range up to the mid 1100 range, but it fell $30 yesterday in an environment where every other tech stock, for the most part, was up and in the green. So it's very interesting to watch. I'm not going to speculate on why any of these moves are happening, but just to say, I think we're going to see another pullback at some point between now and the end of June or beginning of July, because the results that were desired from the tariffs are not materializing. And if we don't see something positive come out of these, which we haven't so far, there's got to be some pullback in the market. It's just become far too frothy with all of the uncertainty that is that exists today. So that's where we are. Good luck in your trades. And if you like the videos, please hit the like and subscribe button.